Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It is Wednesday the 3rd of July. Thanks again for watching. Now just remember that the site to get free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen here. It's when you come back and use the site, that's what generates revenue that keeps us free of charge. So thanks for doing that. Now we've got a spell of dry weather on its way. The big question is, how long is it going to last? Well, this is the output from the GFS ensemble model for London for the coming days, and the red line here is showing us maximum temperatures. You can see how they peak during the early part of next week, then fall off a little bit as the northeasterly wind sets in, but generally temperatures holding up near or above the seasonal average as we head into the middle part of July, according to the ensemble. Big dry period centred in here, look, taking us through till around the 14th or 15th. Then it just picks up on little bits and pieces of rain. Now, we have to take the signals, not the detail of the model at that sort of stage. So is it trying to hint at some sort of breakdown late on in the period? That could be just into the form of scattered showers or thunderstorms, but it's worthwhile just noting that it has picked up on that after this prolonged dry period. We'll take a look at the short-term forecast in just a mo, but this is the MJO, the latest from the MJO from the ECMWF model for the next month, running from 2nd of July through to the 2nd of August. And the bright green line that you can see here is the forecast for where the MJO will be. The red line is where it has been. Each of the black dots represents a day. So the first one there, we've got the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, until we get into phase 3. Now, phase 2 of the MJO typically brings us building areas of high pressure towards the end of phase 2, typically across Scandinavia, and very little westerly flow across the Atlantic, with the NAO tending to stay fairly neutral. And that's really what's going to happen with that ridge building in, and eventually it looks as if the high pressure does build up towards the northern parts of Scotland. Now, after that, once we're getting into phase 3, and it's only a very weak phase 3, because notice how close it is to the centre circle here. Phase 3, typically, from about 6 or 7 days onto the entrance of phase 3, which we said was the 11th of June, generally takes you into more unsettled conditions, into a proper westerly flow across the Atlantic. We find any blocking tending to break down, and then we get more of a westerly flow, and as we go into phase 4, that's when conditions really become unsettled. Now, as you can see here, phase 3 is hinted at just nudging onto phase 4, but it becomes very, very weak. So we're not getting a strong signal from the MJO about where this pattern may go. There are hints of that breakdown late on, towards the 17th, 18th, 19th, but it would only probably be a weak breakdown, and perhaps only in the south of the country. But that's what the MJO is trying to say, and that backs up this idea from the ensemble model of this period, sort of the 18th, 19th period, as being one where we could see the breakdown coming in. And over the last few days, we've been keeping an eye on the CFS. This is the forecast from the CFS for week 1, and you can see here above normal heights centred across the UK and into western parts of Russia, indicating that building pressure. Don't forget that where the maximum heights are doesn't relate directly to high pressure at the surface. It just shows us where heights are higher than normal for the time of year. Now, on to week 2, which is from the 9th to the 15th. Again, you can see those higher than normal heights centred across the British Isles, which would put high pressure probably somewhere within here. That would allow the flow to become more northwesterly for a time across the north, and then northeasterly across more eastern areas of the country during the last part of the week. Those northeasterlies taking the edge off the temperatures. But essentially, that map is a dry, fine, sunny map, and a warm one as well. Now on to week 3, which is from the 16th to the 22nd. Again, you can see that we've got above normal heights, the red colour showing us that. However, indications that the high tending to get squeezed away a little bit and split, probably up towards the north, somewhere up here. And what we would then find is the flow going more into a normal easterly, which could allow these lower than normal heights here to just edge their way northeastwards towards the end of the period. Again, hinting at this breakdown towards the south into more showery conditions, and perhaps some thunderstorms coming up from France. So I think we've got to work on a date of around about the 20th of July. So somewhere, let's say the 20th-ish, plus or minus a couple of days, looks to be the time that we have to look for potential for a breakdown. But having said that, of course, things can change. But that's where things are hinted at heading just at the moment. And then into week 4, from the 23rd to the 29th of June, look, we're back to normal heights. We've got high pressure probably out towards the west somewhere here and off across Europe with a big ridge, so somewhere in here. So what we're going to find at 500 millibars is probably a flow something like that. So we've got a weak trough through the northern parts of the UK, bringing some outbreaks of rain, I think, through the British Isles, some showers, nothing excessive, I don't think, but certainly perhaps not quite as settled as the early part of the month has been. But either way, looks like we've still got quite a prolonged spell of dry weather on its way. So back to the present then, and this is the chart for today. So this is midday Wednesday. There's last night's front that clears eastwards. Here's the ridge coming in from the west, which is going to bring dry conditions through this afternoon to most. We then have the last of our fronts for quite a while moving through during Thursday morning. Here it is clearing its way eastwards on Thursday morning. We then find a dry westerly flow following in behind. Now there won't be much rain associated with those fronts at all, probably just an area of cloud across England and Wales, but it could just be one or two spots across western hills and coasts. I think as that clears eastwards, so we find many areas just dry, one or two showers perhaps for the western coasts of Wales, and some more persistent showers across western Scotland for a time. Quite breezy there too, and quite a breezy day for most, feeling rather cool. All changed for Friday. There's the area of high pressure building its way northwards. Look, it brings a fine day for most. Plenty of sunshine, although western parts of Ireland, western parts of Scotland could have some low cloud and drizzle at times. It's a warm one for Saturday, 28 degrees in the south, probably looking around 20 in northern Scotland. Dry, fine and sunny for most. Still a breeze blowing across Scotland, and a lighter breeze for northern England elsewhere, generally light and variable winds. I think cloud increases for western parts of Ireland, the west of Scotland later as that front approaches, bringing some outbreaks of rain later on in the day on Saturday. Sunday sees us dominated by high pressure again, that front through Scotland bringing some cloud there, but that breaking with sunny spells coming through. I think sunshine for most and dry too, although notice what's happened. Look, the flow is going more into the northeast across more southern parts of the UK. Now what that will do is just take the edge off the temperatures. Nevertheless, we could still be looking at a 27 across parts of southern England, 21 in northern parts of Scotland, and still some good spells of sunshine, but we just need to watch for a little bit of cloud just drifting onto these eastern coasts at times. And then finally for Monday, well, we find high pressure still in control, so still a fine day, plenty of sunshine, but quite a strong easterly wind blowing by then across southern coast of England. I think we're looking at 25 mile an hour east to north easterlies. It'll be dry as well for all places with some good spells of sunshine. May just find late on Monday a little bit of drizzle just drifting into northern parts of Scotland and perhaps Orkney and Shetland, but for the vast majority it's a dry, fine, sunny and warm day once again. So I'll leave you with that for now. I know I've given you loads of information to absorb there, but hopefully it's been useful for you. Thanks again for watching, and just remember that the site's kept free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen here. So thanks for coming back to weatherweb.net. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, and thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining. Bye for now.